History's strange, it's alien, and it won't give us what we would like to have.
George Armstrong Custer arrived in this world on December 5th, 1839, in a quiet corner of Ohio that could never have imagined the amount of noise the young man would later create. He grew up with charm, trouble, and the kind of confidence that teachers whisper about in the hallways. When he graduated last in his class at West Point, he shrugged it off the way only a 19-year-old can. The country was about to drift into war, and Custer suspected that history might grade on a different curve. He rocketed through the Civil War as if launched from a cannon. At Gettysburg, he led a cavalry charge so wild that even the horses may have asked for clarification. He shouted, "Come on, you Wolverines," with such vigor that the phrase stuck to him like a battle ribbon. One Confederate officer demanded to know who that young man with the yellow hair was who kept riding straight at him. Custer survived every reckless moment and came out of the war as the boy general, a national favorite with a gift for showing up at the center of the action. After the war, he married Libby Bacon, who steadied him without ever slowing him down. She believed he was destined for great achievement. She spent the rest of her life convincing the rest of the country that she was right. Custer headed west with the 7th Cavalry and discovered a new kind of war. His Civil War instincts pushed him toward speed, shock, and spectacle. At the Washita River in 1868, he attacked a Cheyenne village led by Black Kettle, a peace-seeking chief. Custer insisted it was a battle between warriors. Survivors remembered it as something far darker, and the word they used was massacre. The gap between those versions of the story would widen over time, and it still has not closed. In 1874, his expedition into the Black Hills reported gold among the roots of the grass. Newspapers loved that phrase. Miners loved it even more. The Lakota, who held the land by treaty, watched the tide of settlers pour in, and they prepared for a fight they did not seek but could not avoid. By the summer of 1876, Custer rode with the 7th Cavalry into the Great Sioux War, believing he faced a smaller force than he actually did. He divided his regiment and advanced toward a village that held thousands of Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho. Reno's attack collapsed almost immediately. Benteen was too far off to help. Custer pushed ahead until the hills themselves seemed to erupt with warriors. Native accounts describe soldiers firing in every direction, horses falling, and the lines breaking apart. The entire command under Custer disappeared in the dust and gunfire within a couple of hours. When news of the defeat reached the East around the 4th of July, the nation needed a story with order and meaning. Custer became a hero who died with his face to the enemy. Libby defended that version for the next 57 years, writing books that turned their frontier life into a national romance. Artists painted him as a bright angel of the plains. Hollywood swung between reverence and mockery. The myth took on a life of its own. Modern historians have taken another look and found a man who combined courage with misjudgment and brilliance with impatience. Native perspectives, long ignored, tell of a victory earned through unity, experience, and the simple resolve to live free on their own land. The Little Bighorn was not a tragic final poem of American heroism. It was the day the United States met a force it believed it could overrun and learned that reality had other plans. Custer remains with us because his story pulls at every loose thread in our national memory. He was bold, he was flawed, he rose quickly and fell completely. His life invites argument, and his death leaves questions that refuse tidy answers. In other words, he is perfect for historians and perfect for radio, because he reminds us that the past never sits still. It shifts, it unsettles, and it asks us to look again.
Check out more stories from history at davedoeshistory.org.